Welcome to the Election Special 2014, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch. I'm your host, Avi Myers. We actually ran out of shows on the Northtown News Magazine regular show, so we're putting together a series of specials because we want to make sure we highlight every worthwhile, good candidate and everybody who's running for office, that we could accommodate on the show. It is a pleasure to have somebody running for Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County, James Crawley. How you
Hi,
doing?
good to see you, Avi.
First of all, good to see you. And how is the campaign going?
It's going well. It's almost over. We're in the home stretch. I've been doing it now for 14 months.
Wow.
So we're in the final days, and I'm looking forward to it finally being over.
Yeah, no, it's so. What have you been doing for 14 months?
Initially, prior to slating, meeting with the various committeemen, that started last January. Up through slating, I met with 51 of the 80 committeemen prior to slating, and then the game changes after slating, and you go into campaign mode. So since slating, I've been out getting all around the county, trying to meet as many people as I can, get endorsements, literally out every day and every night.
Wow. And of course, meeting as many people, appearing on. Have you been on other TV shows besides for mine?
I haven't.
Just curious, because I know there's some other people. By the way, some people actually charge candidates for coming on the show. I don't do that. Okay, this is all free. So, everybody's invited, no obligation, no cost, no nothing. I do tell them that if they want to leave $500,000 in small unmarked bills in the hollow tree stump in the back, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And, oh, by the way, I want to warn all you people, too, because, better hide the women and children because Jewish Chicago's in town. So make sure you pick up your copy of Jewish Chicago, where you'll see the most complete election rundown. We take a look at every single countywide race, as well as every single sub-circuit race in Jewish neighborhoods, and it is by far the longest, most thorough judicial evaluation I've ever done. And I do want to point out real quick, at least once on the air, that not all the bar ratings were out when I had to write it, so I had to do my best. I do have a judicial panel. I'm not usually the one who makes the, if a person gets endorsed, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not always me. That's criteria. I'm not always, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm not good at that. I've got people I depend on. I get a little bit of say, but it's, for better or worse, it ain't always me. So getting back to, is this the first time you run for judge?
It is my first time.
So you also had to sit down with various judicial evaluation committees,
Right.
As long as we're talking about this.
Met with Chicago Bar Association, Chicago Council of Lawyers, and then what is comprised of the Alliance of Bar Associations. Total of 12 bar associations total. I have been found recommended or qualified by all of them.
Great. So that's 3 different screenings?
It was 2 different screenings. Chicago Bar and Illinois State Bar do issue their findings separately than the Alliance, as does Chicago Council of Lawyers.
So the Council of Lawyers, do they sponsor the Alliance?
They are part of it. I believe they sit during that screening. I don't know if they do it jointly, but they're present when you're screened.
Yeah, because I think the way it was explained to me is that basically there's like 10 different people that sit and see the exact same thing.
Right, at least.
Yeah.
At least that many.
Wow, that's got to be quite a process. And I started talking to some of the members too this year of the evaluation committee, because it's interesting. Because sometimes I know people get away with things. You're not one of them, but I've seen some people get away with some pretty horrid stuff and whatever. You can read about it in Jewish Chicago. So, do you have a website?
I do. It's crawleyforjudge.org, and it's Crawley with an A.
Crawle, but then again, it's on the screen while we're talking.
Right.
So it'll be very easy for people to look it up. And what kind of do you have a campaign organization?
I have a campaign manager and some consultants on staff that I'm talking with and texting, emailing daily.
Yeah.
Those texts become more frequent the closer we're getting to election. Sometimes in the middle of the night I'll think of something and shoot somebody an email. But I've got a really good group of people behind me that are helping me and have a lot of trust and confidence in their ability.
We should talk about your background, and I probably should have asked that first, but you know, I guess
Well, I've been for almost 25 years now, a trial attorney. I was originally from Joliet. Prior to law school, I was a staff assistant for Senator Paul Simon, and then went to law school. Out of law school, I worked in county government for a brief period of time, and then went into trial practice work, doing personal injury work on behalf of plaintiffs. And in 2001, started my own practice downtown.
oh, very good. Very good. So, what kind of law do you practice?
Personal injury cases, product liability, wrongful death cases. Recently, in the last few years, I developed a bit of a niche practice handling food poisoning cases,
Wow.
which are very interesting cases. You know, you get one big case that gets some notoriety, and then other people start referring you their food poisoning cases. So it's been a very interesting
I mean,
practice.
is this restaurant? Is this packaged product?
It's, you know, I represented 40 school children in Joliet who received a tainted school lunch that the school lunch program knew was tainted when they bought the product. They bought it on the cheap,
Wow.
and all the students got sick. I've represented a number of people, you know, have a good botulism case, a sushi botulism case. So they're all very interesting. The science is very technical, usually multiple defendants in these cases because you have to sue everybody in the product line, from the person who sells the food to the consumer all the way up. For example, my fish case, you know, I named everybody from the restaurant all the way up to the fishery in the Philippines.
Wow.
And then you find out where along the line the product got tainted. So it's interesting. There's, like I said, a lot of science. There's a big learning curve. You have to learn the science yourself to do the case well. And I really enjoy those because you become kind of a mini expert on those topics when you learn them.
I'll tell you, it's nice to have a niche. I know myself when I was doing more of the graphics business, if you really had a niche that people needed that no one else could do, it was really nice. And you know, you become an expert too in a field that's very useful.
Right. And what I find useful is that, you know, I think that by doing the cases that I do, other products become safer. I think restaurants and distributors put stricter procedures in place to make the food safer. So you're not only helping your client recover some compensation in the end, but in the long run, people are getting better product and safer product.
No, and that's important. There's no question that's important. It's one of the reasons I actually make most of my own food is I don't always trust everything that's
Right.
out in the store.
Right.
It might be a little more work, but like I'll make at least a dozen portions and put them in the freezer. That way it's not so bad. So in any event, if you had a message to tell people why they should vote for you?
You know, I think the judiciary, honestly, is, in my opinion, I'm probably biased in this regard because I'm a lawyer, but I think the judiciary is the most important branch of government. It keeps the other two branches in check. It gives judges the opportunity for what they call judicial independence, to be free of political bias and influence. A lot of the best decisions that we've seen come down in our courts are ones that those were not necessarily going along the line of popular opinion. And sometimes you have to side with the minority if you're going to do justice. And I think that's what's great about electing judges who are well qualified, who don't have the bias that a lot of people do.
I will agree with you that voting for judges is of supreme importance. You can start at the bottom of the ballot. If they would like to vote for you, the punch number?
161 on the last race on the ballot right before the sub-circuit races.
161, James Crawley, if you'd like to make him a judge. Good man. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and
Thank you,
good luck
Ali.
in the election.
Thank you very much.